What is the first thing a monkey thinks when it sees a dog? It thinks, oh, there's a dog. I'd better hide my asshole and my genitals because that dog is going to sexually assault me. This monkey has learned from experience, and its reaction is totally justified and rational, and this is how we should all react whenever we see a dog. Because even dog owners know that their dogs will invade our personal space as soon as they can, and the first place their snouts will go is to our genitals. They will bury their snout right up in there, and if it is a male dog, the dog will try to get it on with us. We are supposed to be living in a civilized society. This behavior is uncivilized. It is depraved and disgusting. Dogs do not have any concept of morality, and they can't discern right from wrong. What do we do with humans that have no concept of morality? Humans that cannot discern right from wrong, they are removed from society. They are either put in prison or in a mental institution. Either way, they are removed from society. Likewise, dogs do not belong in society. I don't care if it is a different species. The behavior is deplorable. You know, when you point out to dog worshippers how disgusting and unwelcome this is, when you tell them that this is sexual assault, they laugh at you, they call you crazy, they get defensive and hostile, and they say, nah, this is not sexual assault. The dog is simply gathering information, because the dog's sense of smell is so powerful, and that's how they communicate, and blah, blah, blah. I don't care what the motivation is. First of all, I don't care what the species is. I don't want a snout shoved into my privates, all right? I don't care if that snout is attached to a human or a dog, and I don't care what their motivation is. It is a violation. It is an intrusion, an unwelcome intrusion, and it is sexual assault to have my genitals invaded against my will, all right? Simple as that. Period. End of story. As I explained in my video about how dogs sexually harass and assault us, this has become the new normal. This is just the way it is. People think this is funny. They make videos of their dogs sexually harassing their friends, and they upload them to YouTube like it's some big joke. It's just the way it is. You go visit a friend, yep, you're probably going to get sexually assaulted by their dog. And you better not complain about it, because if you do, then you're labeled as the crazy animal hater. You're a subhuman, heartless, unloving monster if you complain. You know, this is ridiculous. And we need to take a stand against these deranged dog worshippers. Dogs have raped babies. They have sodomized babies. They will continue to try to rape us, and nothing will change. This will go on and on and on until we take a stand like this monkey is doing. Just stop in your tracks. When you see a dog, cover up your privates. Act like this monkey. Freeze on the spot and, let the owner know why. Don't be afraid to tell it like it is. Tell them that you're fed up of being sexually assaulted by their dog. Tell them it is sexual assault, regardless of what the animal's motivation is. You're sick of having your genitals invaded. Now, I thought I would make another random dog shit video just to reassure you all that my hatred for dogs continues to burn with the intensity of a billion suns. I know some of you might have your doubts after I changed the name of my channel. I've just been trying to raise awareness while providing an alternative to hate. I want to set myself apart from other YouTubers who take pleasure in watching dogs being blowtorched alive, for example. I want you all to know that I still do hate dogs. I had a longtime supporter recently accuse me of being bought by the dog industry, which was shocking. But according to them, this is the reason why I changed the name of my channel. And that's why I've discussed cats recently. This is absurd. And I want to assure you all that I still hate dogs. And so I thought I'd put together this video. I've been saving videos and images that I've collected over the last few weeks or months even, thinking I've got to make videos about this in the future. I just thought I'd put together a mishmash here just to show you, once again, how deranged dog worshippers are, how sick this dog cult is, and just how disgusting dogs are. So speaking of that viewer who accused me of being bought, they left this comment on my channel weeks, if not months ago. And I made a screenshot of it because I thought, yeah, I got to make a video about this one day. I thought this is something we should discuss down below in the comments, and something we should definitely point out to dog worshippers. I have always wondered what kind of friend is one that you constantly need to dominate, both physically and psychologically, so it won't attack you. But if it senses any weakness on your part, it will use the opportunity to climb higher on hierarchy, then maintain that position, and eventually turn on you. I had countless dogs in my life, and most of them are like this. If you put them in their place, they will behave well and kiss your ass, because you're the alpha. But as soon as you are kind to them, they will see it as weakness and react as their genetics determines. More dominant predatory animals will attack you eventually. More submissive ones will only start to act up, barking all the time, destroying things, not obeying commands. So I would put it like this. The nicer you are to a dog, the worse its behavior will be. The meaner you are to them, the nicer they will be. Thanks, but no thanks to that kind of friendship. I really love this comment because when dog worshippers say that dogs are man's best friend, we should draw their attention to this fact. What kind of best friend is submissive, or requires you to be dominant so that they will not attack you? This is mental. A healthy relationship involves two people who share power equally within the relationship. If you have one person who's constantly giving commands and the other person obeying those commands, this relationship is not viewed as a healthy one. That is some sick codependent bullshit. We would never say that that is a good friendship, or that person is your best friend because they obey your commands. This is sick. So, this is something we should point out to dog worshippers. I love that comment. It's a shame that this supporter of mine is gone, but what can you do? A lot of people can't handle the truth about cats, and when you share facts about cats with them, they react with the same irrationality and hostility dog worshippers display when you present them with facts about dogs. It's exactly the same thing, and it was shocking and horrible to see, because I really thought more of my viewers. I thought if they are, if they can be rational and see the truth about dogs, then it's not much of a leap to assume they can see the truth about another animal, but nope. Anyhow, my viewer Kitten recently shared about how they are thrilled to have found homes for all these dogs, and that they are trying now to import feral dogs from up north. Kitten lives in Canada, which is where I'm located, and she writes, those packs of wild dogs that maul a child to death on a regular basis. You hear about this in Canada. Most of our dog bite fatalities occur on First Nations reservations up in the north, where there are packs of feral dogs running around and acting on their instincts. These dogs don't need to be trained to attack humans. They are predatory carnivores. It comes naturally to them. Now, these more populated cities in the south of the country are trying to bring down these feral dogs from up north. This is the last thing we need. But, dog worshippers are blind to the dog's true nature. They believe that dogs are good by nature, and that the only reason they attack people is if they were mistreated or somehow trained to be vicious, which is not the case. You cannot love or train instincts out of a predatory carnivore. This is something that seems to be impossible to get through to them, but we have to keep trying. I saw this meme which reminded me of my video about the danger of anthropomorphizing animals. If you remember in that video, I talked about how humans have been anthropomorphizing or humanizing animals for a long time, and how this has its roots in Christianity. Now, this painting, I'm not sure who the painter is. If you know, please enlighten me. Painted a horse, and this, just reflects the way human beings have been humanizing animals for a very long time. If you haven't seen that video, please check it out. It's very interesting. But dogs are not human. Horses are not human. They are dogs. They are horses. Why can we not see them for what they are, which is non-human? They do not have human characteristics. Okay, they have dog characteristics. This is something we need to drive home whenever you see a dog dressed up in a human Halloween costume or any other sort of human apparel, sunglasses, or whatever bullshit these people like to dress their dogs up in to try to give them, these human characteristics which they don't have. We need to tell them, yo, this isn't a human. This is a dog. This is a predatory carnivore. Dogs do not have the capacity to experience love. They might release oxytocin when they see you, but that's a hormone that is also released when we lactate or have an orgasm or are anticipating food. It's something that happens in response to social cues. It is not necessarily an indication of love. And dogs, it has been shown by science, lack the capacity to experience love. They cannot feel empathy. They cannot feel compassion. They cannot feel regret. They cannot feel remorse. They cannot feel guilt. And psychologists will tell you that you need to feel those things. You need to have the capacity to experience those emotions before you can love someone. Dogs, it has been shown, cannot experience those emotions, and therefore cannot love. The idea that a dog loves you is completely erroneous. They do not love. They can't. I saw this guy on TikTok playing with piglets, and the pigs were being very affectionate and playful. And of course, someone had to comment something that you see a lot. Pigs are puppies too. They just want to live and love. No, they are not puppies. They are pigs. Why do you have to bring up puppies? They are a completely different species. They are not puppies. They're never going to be puppies. I really, really hate it when dog worshippers do this. As if no other animal on earth is capable of being cute or affectionate in its own right. It has to be called a puppy. There are plenty of cute, affectionate animals out there that are not puppies. And, love? Puppies don't love. They lick you because they're trying to make you vomit so that they can eat your vomit. This is a remnant of juvenile wolf behavior. It has nothing to do with love. People are so delusional. They call this food-seeking behavior puppy kisses. It's actually very sad how deluded these dog worshippers are. I came across this quote. This was a Holocaust survivor who said, "We must always take sides. Neutrality helps the oppressor, never the victim. Silence encourages the tormentor, never the tormented. The opposite of love is not hate, it's indifference." This is why I strongly encourage you to create your own content on YouTube or make your own posts, share videos, write to your local newspaper. Do whatever you can to raise awareness. We need many voices. We need more people speaking out. And being silent because you're afraid of social rejection helps the oppressor. Just keep that in mind. I saw this and oh boy, I felt sick and infuriated. See how they put the shit eater in the foreground and the baby in the background? They print the words fur baby in big prominent letters, all decorated with paw prints on the sides, while new baby is printed in small letters. This makes it very clear which baby quote unquote baby is more important to them, right? Obviously, they care more about their shit-eating, mutated predator than about their human baby. And this is the sickness that is permeating Western culture and spreading like a deadly disease. And it is a deadly disease because people are being killed on a regular basis. And if they're not being killed, they're being disfigured and having their lives ruined by scars and trauma. I'm not sure if the artist who drew this comic was trying to show how deranged the dog cult is. I suspect they are a dog worshiper themselves, and they are pointing out how neglecting to call your dog a good boy is the worst crime possible. People will become more insulted and outraged by you simply saying you don't like dogs than if you would say you hate children. A dog can't even understand when you call it a derogatory name, right? But a person will become more outraged over that than, if you say you hate a human being or children or whatever. It's like simply neglecting to say the dog is a good boy. Forget about saying you hate dogs. What would this mob do to you if you said you hated dogs? If just forgetting or neglecting to call it a good boy merits this sort of attack by a mob, man, what do I have coming to me? You see what I'm saying? Mental. Because I'm not hurting anyone. What am I doing? I'm not asking anyone to go out and abuse dogs. All I want is for us to quit breeding them into existence and to ban them. I'm not calling for their torture or their death unless they are, feral and running around our towns and cities. Then, yeah, we should deal with them the same way we would deal with any other unpredictable predator that's running around our streets. But yeah, I'm the witch. I'm the terrible one that should be beaten up by a mob because I don't like dogs and I don't want them anywhere near me. I'm not mistreating dogs, unlike dog owners who actually do mistreat their dogs by leaving them alone all day in an unnatural environment that they are, not suited for. Our homes are not ideal environments for dogs. They make dogs go crazy, being cooped up, contained by four walls without the company of a pack of dogs, without the ability to roam and hunt and mate and hump and sniff and scavenge and do all these natural dog behaviors. Dogs go crazy when they're deprived of that. Who's depriving dogs of that? Not me. Dog owners are, by bringing them into our human communities and trying to train them to not behave like dogs, to not be dogs. This is mental. So the only person who's mistreating dogs here are the dog owners, not the dog haters that don't want to be anywhere near dogs. I am showing more love to dogs by leaving them alone than dog worshippers are. I've talked about this before on my channel when I made the video about that dog that had a tail growing out of its forehead. It seems that the more mutated and deformed the dog is, the more popular they are with dog worshippers. People have actually bred these dogs to look like this. These dogs cannot breed naturally. They can't walk properly. They are suffering horribly from all sorts of health issues because of what dog worshippers have done. They have created these monsters. These animals are not natural. Nature would never have created something so hideous. Creating something that is so deformed is downright cruel and totally insane. The more hideously deformed a dog is, the more attractive it seems to be to people. I don't understand people at all. Love is hate. People who think they love dogs actually hate dogs. To pay a breeder to do this to a creature, that's hate. It is funding the torture of animals. It is funding animal torture. They call themselves dog lovers. It is the opposite. They are dog haters because they're funding the torture of dogs. I, on the other hand, do not fund it. I am showing more love towards dogs by leaving them alone. Dog nuts seem to especially like malformed or disabled specimens. It is a virtue signaling thing. You see more and more of this. It's everywhere now. The more deformed the dog is, it's like, oh, look at me. I'm such a great person. I'm taking care of this creature that everyone else calls ugly. This creature that nobody else wants, I want it because I have such a big heart, a bigger heart than all those other people who rejected this poor creature. Look at what a great person I am. Look up information about any dog breed. You will find health issues common to that dog breed. It doesn't matter what dog breed, they all have these health issues. Greyhounds, for example, can have reduced blood supply to the leg bone, which begins to shrink, and then they start limping. And it's like this with any dog breed. And, like someone commented in our Discord server, there are so many channels about purebreds, and whenever they make a video about health, there's always a point where they're like, these dogs have so many health problems, it really sucks. And they move past it just like that. It drives me insane. Look at this. Were they trying to create a giraffe? What? This is not natural. Nature would never have created this. Our dog's just an example of our vanity, someone wrote. Humans tried to play with nature, tame it, and craft something to our own ends, but instead created these deformed things with countless health issues and are overwhelmingly just used as useless, disgusting pets. I do think that's a part of it. Maybe it is like an art thing, right? Humans like to create stuff. Maybe, creating a breed is an art form. Some people, get a kick out of that. It's like vanity. Look at this thing. How can people think that is attractive? And what the hell is this? Why would anyone shave their dog to make it have this body shape? And of course, its dick is sticking out. How on earth are people not disgusted by this revolting exposed penis and their exposed assholes? It's just beyond me how anyone would want such a creature around them. Oh, and these mugs. Dear Daddy, your pit bull fur child. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You cannot be a parent to any creature that is not a human. Look up the definition of mother. Look up the definition of father. Look up the definition of child. You do not get to change the definition. All of these pictures make me sick. Look at this. This husky has its own website with 2.58 million subscribers. Look at this thing's head. Look at that. And this. I saw this in a group I'm in. What's in the pups here? First of all, it's not a puppy, it's a full-grown dog. The groomer glues gems on them. Yeah, I'm sure the dog loves that. Look at this picture. Just look at those little, what do you call them? Those little fleshy extensions coming off its jowls. Oh, just the most disgusting thing ever. Why do dogtards think every disgusting thing dogs do is endearing? Like rub its ass on the carpet, draining its anal glands, is somehow endearing. It's so endearing, you want to put that on a coffee cup or on a mug. Yeah, that's what you want to see when you're enjoying your morning coffee or your tea, because that's so appetizing. What is wrong with these people? Imagine a mug with the image of a toddler smearing feces on the floor or the wall or whatever. First of all, you would never see an image like that on a mug. Why? Because parents of human children, and you can't be a parent to anyone else, we are not in a cult. We're not in a human toddler cult. These dog worshippers are in a dog worship cult, which, enables them to get away. They do this kind of thing because they're not in their right minds. It's not rational. You'd never see anyone glorifying such a disgusting action if it was a human being doing it. But because dogs are worshipped, literally worshipped in a cult, the dog cult, by these dog worshippers, they think this is glorious. It's funny, it's whatever. It makes no sense because you'd never see this with a human being on the mug, or any other animal for that matter. Could you imagine, I don't know, a parrot smearing its, shitty, well, I don't know, parrots don't do that because they're not as disgusting as dogs. They don't have anal glands that need draining. But, I don't know, birds shitting on your furniture, I don't know. Nothing else would be endearing. No other creature would be viewed in the same light if they were doing this kind of thing. This is an example of the dog cult. People's minds are warped. It's crazy. Can you see this? Can you see how crazy these people are? Here are a couple of comics I thought were funny. And I've said it many times before, but I'll say it one more time for good measure. You cannot be a parent to any creature that is not a human. So cut it out. And when you see other people posting this shit, call them out on it too. And here I'm repeating myself again when I said that dogs are appearing everywhere in places that have nothing to do with dogs, such as a falconry page or whatever on Instagram. Why are people posting pictures of their dogs in a group about falcons? Shove it. Take your picture of your dog and share it in a dog worshipping group, because the rest of us normal, rational people who aren't in your cult don't want to see that shit. I'm going to end with this. Someone in our Discord server wrote, this whole training argument. Okay, so you can train that dog to not act like a dog, train it to not do what comes naturally to it in terms of its eating shit, biting, barking, humping, destroying things, begging, etc. But in order for it to stick, that shit has to be reinforced daily. Why, oh why, would you waste your precious life, your precious energy, your one and only life on that ungrateful, useless, smelly beast that cannot love, I might add? And even with all the training in the world, you can never guarantee it won't revert to baseline dog anytime it feels like it. But I agree, children are indoctrinated from day one with stuffed dogs, dog cartoons, dog books, dog movies, from before they can even talk. They are trained to believe that doggy is man's best friend. They rarely see an alternative point of view. Well, that's what we are here to provide. And I gotta go, because my husband's here. I've just been sitting in the car waiting for him, and so that concludes this video. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Future's dog free.